Hello, 6th standard. Welcome back to video class again. Today we are going to do video class number 3. And the topic is second chapter in zoology, components of food. First we have learned food. Where does it come from? First lesson. By now you should have completed midterm also. How did you do? I hope you find it easy. That the question bank that is given to you is just for reference. Okay, you need not mug up the whole answers except one or two as write 2 sentences about clouds and what is a food chain, importance of food chain, examples for food chain, questions like that in which the textbook details are not sufficient. For those portions, I have given question answers like that. Other than that, you just go through the textbook, understand the concept, and you should know to write in your own sentences. Just for 1 or 2 tests, if there are mistakes in grammar, that you don't worry, we will correct slowly. As you practice writing this, it will be alright. I hope you understand. So what have we done in chapter 1? We have learned as what are ingredients and then examples as plant sources and animal sources. We have learned many examples and from the food items given, you know to assort what are the plant sources and animal sources. We have learned like that, is it not? And then what are the different ways of feeding by animals? In all these topics we have learned. I hope you have understood. Now the second one is components of food. That is chapter 2 in our textbook. What are the components in the first chapter? I said they are carbohydrates, protein, fat, vitamins and minerals. I repeat, components of food are carbohydrates, protein, fat, vitamins and minerals. Okay, and all these components, they form the nutrients. And the nutrients which are taken as food. And the process of taking food is called nutrition. And this nutrition, as we go for further chapters, we will learn they are as autotrophic nutrition by the green plants, heterotrophic nutrition by the animals, and with certain non-green plants. They are called heterotrophic nutrition. So the mode of taking food, to provide energy and to repair the damaged cells and tissues. They are forming nutrition, and the content of this is called nutrients. Okay, so the nutrients, I say they are carbohydrates, protein, fat, vitamins and minerals. Right? Now what do you know about the carbohydrates? Normally we say starch content in the okay, typical example rice content நிறைய சாப்பிட்டா sugar ஜாஸ்தியா இருக்கும்னு சொல்லுவாங்க அது அடுத்து வரேன். So rice content mostly. So now this carbohydrates, it is said they are organic compounds. Organic compounds na நம்ம வந்து நீங்க கெமிஸ்ட்ரியில படிப்பீங்க, கெமிக்கல்ஸ், சிம்பிள்ஸ் அண்ட் எலிமெண்ட்ஸ், காம்பவுண்ட்ஸ் அண்ட் மிக்சர்ஸ், அதில் வந்து சிம்பிள்ஸ் படிப்பீங்க. அதில் ஆர்கானிக், இன்ஆர்கானிக்னு எலிமெண்ட்ஸ்லாம் படிப்பீங்க. அதெல்லாம் இது வந்து ஆர்கானிக் கம்பவுண்ட்ஸ். Carbohydrates are organic compounds formed of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. சீனா கெமிஸ்ட்ரியில் நீங்கள் மறுபடியும் சிம்பிள்னு படிப்பேன். அதில் வந்து கார்பனுக்கு சி, கார்பன், கார்பன், இது வந்து C, hydrogen, this is hydrogen, and O வந்து oxygen. See the spelling, carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. எந்த கார்போஹைட்ரேட் கண்டென்ட்ஸ் எடுத்துட்டாலும் அதுக்கு எக்ஸாம்பிள்ஸ் வந்து குளுக்கோஸ், fructose, maltose, sucrose and starch. There are examples for carbohydrates. Now the content எடுத்துட்டாலும் they will definitely have only these three. Only thing, the number of molecules will vary. Okay, so the number of molecules will increase or reduce, and the changes தான் இருக்கும். So எந்த carbohydrates molecule எடுத்தாலும் it will have carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, now these carbohydrates, organic compound, they are as bookla illai, just understand பண்ணிக்கோ. They are as monosaccharides, disaccharides and polysaccharides. Simple sugar சொல்லுவோம்ல, நம்ம குளுக்கோஸ் சாப்பிடுவோமே அது வந்து மோனோசாக்கரைடு. அது சுகர் சாப்பிட்றோம்ல, வீட்டில் சீனி போட்டுக்கோங்க சுகர், அது வந்து டைசாக்கரைட், சுக்ரோஸ், disaccharides. And starch is polysaccharides. There are many molecules of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Normally carbohydrate வந்து glucose formula H12C6H12O6. இதுதான் glucose formula. வரை மூணுமே carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. சரியா? So here organic carbohydrates are formed of organic compounds carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, and it is as monosaccharide, disaccharide and polysaccharides. Okay, examples of carbohydrates are glucose, fructose, sucrose, galactose and starch. These are examples. Okay, then this essential carbohydrate is the most essential requirement of the nutrients. Most essential nutrients, and it is the chief source of energy. நம்ம வந்து ஃபுட் ஐட்டம்ல எடுத்துக்கோ, சாம்பார் மட்டும் குடிக்க மாட்டோம், ரசத்தை மட்டும் குடிக்க மாட்டோம் இல்லையா? அது வந்து சாதத்துலேயோ கோதுமை உப்புமாலையோ இல்லைன்னா கோதுமை சாதம் சொல்லுவோம்ல, அந்த மாதிரி ஏதாவது ஒரு இதில் சேர்த்து தான் சாப்பிட்றோம். And it is the major source of energy. So carbohydrates are essential nutrients and they form the chief source of energy. Carbohydrates are functional, they are the most essential nutrients and they are the chief source of energy. I hope you understand. So carbohydrate என்னெல்லாம் சொல்லுவேன்? These are organic compounds formed of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. They are of monosaccharide, disaccharide and polysaccharides. Example, glucose, fructose, sucrose and starch. Starch is the carbohydrates, right? What is the function of carbohydrate? They are the most essential nutrient and chief source of energy. What do I go through? They are the chief source of energy. Okay, and the chief source is, what other you can say chief source of energy for carbohydrate? They are sweet potato, sugarcane, papaya, watermelon, mango, maize, rice and bajra. Chief source மறுபடியும் ரிப்பீட் பண்றேன். They are sweet potato, சக்கரவள்ளி கிழங்கு சொல்லுவோம்ல, அது sweet potato, sugarcane, papaya, watermelon, mango, maize, rice, bajraன்னு ஒரு மில்லட்னு சொல்லுவோம், கம்பு கேழ்வரகுலாம் சொல்லுவோம்ல, அந்த இது rice, bajra. Okay, அதில் வந்து நமக்கு potato தெரியும். Potato, what we are doing, அது வந்து chief source. And then papaya பழம், இது வந்து papaya பழம் நமக்கு தெரியும் இல்லையா, இது papaya chief source of carbohydrate. I hope you understand. And papaya பழம் காட்டினா உனக்கு ஞாபகம் இருக்கணும் என்னென்ன, it has carbohydrate sources. And rice, நம்ம சாப்பிடணும் இல்லையா அரிசி, அதுவும் carbohydrate sources. I hope you understand. So what are all, can you repeat? Sources of carbohydrates are sweet potato, sugarcane, papaya, watermelon, mango, maize, rice and bajra. These are all sources of carbohydrates. Now these sources of carbohydrate, இந்த மாதிரி ஃபுட் எல்லாம் நம்ம சாப்பிட்டோம்னா carbohydrate content will be added in our diet, right? Then how will we prove that the given food sample contains starch? I will show you an experiment, okay, to prove that the given food sample contains starch. சரியா? அதுக்கு வந்து you take 3 test tubes. Take 2 test tubes. Take 2 test tubes as test tube A, test tube B. Now in one test tube, you just take any solution with the water. Okay. Then in another solution, you take rice flour. அரிசி மாவு சொல்லுவோம் இல்லையா, ரைஸ் ஃப்ளவர். ஃப்ளவர்னா மாவு, அரிசி மாவு சொல்லல, அதை வந்து கொஞ்சம் தண்ணியில் கரைச்சி கொஞ்சம் இல்லை. Or you just take one potato, boiled potato. Rice flour இல்லைன்னா boiled potato can be taken. Boiled potato. சரியா? Now with this you add drops of iodine solution. With this solution you add, இதுக்கு ரெண்டுத்துக்கு பேரு food sample. With the food sample you add drops of iodine solution. What will happen? It will turn into blue black. If the food sample contains starch, it will turn blue black. That will show the presence of starch in the given food sample. So in these two, in which sample you will get a blue black color? This is one water solution. This is, we have taken rice flour. And another couple, you take boiled potato also. You add iodine solution here, here and here. What will happen? In the food sample B and a boiled potato, it will turn blue black in color. நம்ம சாதம் சாப்பிடுவோம் இல்லையா, அதுலேயே நீ சுட்டு iodine விட்டுட்டேன்னா அது blue black ஆகும். Okay, so that contains starch. So starch, it is called starch iodine test. நமக்கு வந்து இப்போ நம்ம புக்கில் the method of carrying out the activity figure இருக்கு. After this video session, we will have next video class. I will just give with the figurative representation of this lesson, components of food. So here sources வந்து சொல்லியாச்சு, என்னெல்லாம்? sugarcane, papaya, mango, watermelon, rice, then bajra. Do you remember? All these are sources of carbohydrates. Okay, so this is for experiment as starch iodine test. I hope you understand. Then next one is protein. Proteins are essential. Proteins are the building blocks. நமக்கு எனர்ஜி வேணும்னா கார்போஹைட்ரேட்டோட கண்டிப்பா புரோட்டீன் இருக்கணும். Proteins are the building blocks and it is formed of amino acids. A chemical substance such amino acids. So we say proteins are building blocks formed of amino acids. And then it is helpful in cell growth and repair of body tissues. What is the function? It helps in growth of the cell, multiplication of the cell and repair of body tissues. I hope you are listening. Huh? Yes, sir. Right. Then these protein sources, all pulses varieties, they are forming protein sources. Nama chana cholluvola, chana as protein sources. Now these sources of protein, they are mainly as chana variety nariya nama cholluvola, green gram, black gram, pulses as pulses as patani, tavarai, chana, there are soya bean, the groundnut level, cartridge, there are sources of protein. Okay. Now this protein can also be proved by an experiment. Presence of protein can be proved by an experiment. For that, it is called protein test. It is called Biograde test. Test for protein is called Biograde test. As here you take protein sample. You will take protein sample as egg white. Egg white another. Hence egg and the liquid portion. Thanni my egg white. Adala egg white. So here in sample test tube you take 2 test tube. In one you take rice flour solution and in another you take protein sample as egg white. Seriya? Idu vandu starch test oda konjam kuda or step irukum. So with the egg white you add sodium hydroxide solution. Na sodium, OH vandu hydroxide. You will add sodium hydroxide solution. The egg white வந்து ஒரு மாதிரி தயிர் மாதிரி precipitate இருக்கும். When you add NaOH, it becomes a clear solution. சரியா? அது வரைக்கும் you will add NaOH. Then you add drop by drop copper sulfate solution. Then you will add drop by drop copper sulfate solution. It will give purple color precipitate. It will give purple color precipitate. I hope you understand. So this is the test for protein, Biograde test. You take 2 test tubes, A and B. Name it as test tube A, test tube B. In test tube A, you add little rice flour with the water, and in another you add protein sample as egg white. Then add sodium hydroxide in both the test tubes. Then add copper sulfate drop by drop in both the test tubes. The sample which contains protein will turn purple color. That is sample B. In another sample A, there will be some changes. But we don't know what it is. So we will write no characteristic color change. Abdina specific எந்த characterum கிடையாது. So here we will write no characteristic color change. Here sample B will turn purple color precipitate, showing the presence of protein. I hope you understand. So this is for This is test for protein. Chariya. The next one is next one is the food component fat. What it is? Fat, oil, all oil products, they are sources of fat, and it provides energy and it takes part in metabolism. Fat provides energy and takes part in metabolism. Okay. Now the sources of fat, they are groundnut oil, sunflower oil, mustard oil, coconut oil, soybean oil, till oil na nallanai, till na ellu, till oil. There are sources of fat. Ella oil content. Ennalam muttu as coconut oil, sunflower oil, groundnut oil, mustard oil, soybean oil, and till oil na nallanai. Okay. Whereas animal products, egg, fish, meat, milk, butter, cream. Egg, fish, milk, butter, cream. These are all sources of fatty substances. Okay. Now the excess fat will make the condition for a person called obesity. Obesity na gundaiduvaru. So the excess fat, they are stored in the below the skin, that is called adipose tissue. So in the adipose tissue, when there is excess fat is stored in, it is called, the condition is called obesity. Extra fat, when it is accumulated in the muscle layer, it is known as obesity. Now the fat can also be done by an experiment. First, you take a paper and oil. In the paper, you just oil லேசா scratch பண்ணிக்கோ paper and then crush it with that, and then you see under the light, the paper வச்சு லைட்ல பார்த்தேன்னா இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு பேப்பர் எடு, நல்ல எண்ணெய் தலையில கூட நிறைய தேய்ச்சிருக்கோம்ல, அந்த தலையில கூட எண்ணெயை தடவி தேய்ச்சி விட்டு நல்லா இங்கே வந்து டிரான்ஸ்பரண்ட்டாக இருக்கும். அதை இப்படி நீ லைட்டில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நல்ல டிரான்ஸ்பரண்ட்டாக இருந்ததுனாக்க இட் இஸ் containing fat. So the oil is an example for fatty substances. I hope you understand. Shall we continue? So this is for fatty substances, right? So the three major: carbohydrate, protein, and fat. They are the major components of food. We will continue. Hello, we'll just continue. We are with the components of food as carbohydrate, protein, fats, vitamins, and minerals. This is the as carbohydrate, it is organic compounds formed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. And the examples: glucose, sucrose, starch. And function, it is a essential nutrient and chief source of energy. Major source of energy is carbohydrate. Apram fat, apram protein. Right? Then the sources, banana, sugarcane, apple, lemon, watermelon, rice, potato, these are sources of carbohydrates. Then experiment, I said starch, iodine test, we test the presence of starch in the given food sample. Starch, otherwise carbohydrate. I hope you remember this. The next one, proteins. These are building blocks of, and they are formed of amino acids. Proteins are the building blocks. They are nothing but the growth of the cells, and they are formed of amino acids. Their main function is cell growth and repair of body tissues. cell growth and repair of body tissues. Okay, and the sources are as pulses, pulses as pulses are green gram, tur dal, then chana, sprouted chana nu solluva adala, they are as salt. Okay, and then the sources சொல்லுங்க. Experiment வந்து test for protein by Biograde test. என்ன சொல்லிருக்கேன்? Egg white plus NaOH plus copper sulfate. Egg white வந்து food sample protein. With that we are adding sodium hydroxide. Then when we add copper sulfate, drop by drop, we get purple color precipitate. I hope you understand. சரியா? Then test for next fat வந்து it provides energy and it takes part in metabolic activities and it causes obesity. Excess fat that is stored in the body, that is mainly below the skin as adipose tissue, they are causing obesity. I hope you understand. The next one we are going to learn as vitamins. These vitamins are they are as fat soluble vitamin and water soluble vitamin. Vitamin A, D, E and K. There are fat soluble vitamins. Vitamin B, B complex. Vitamin B, B complex and vitamin C. They are water soluble vitamins. And many minerals as micro and macro, they are required in our body. இது வந்து நம்ம டேப்லெட் காலமா நம்ம டெக்ஸ்ட் புக்ல இருக்கு, that you will study. But the next video 4 la the figures and the activity table what is given in our textbook, that I have made it as a presentation. Adula vitamin, fat soluble and water soluble tabular column is there. Why I am saying na adula வந்து other name of vitamin are given, that you have to learn. சரியா? adula as vitamin here, 1 minute. Fat soluble vitamin. ஏன் fat soluble vitamin சொல்றோம்னா, vitamins are required in a very minute quantity, but other வந்து how it is taken up in the body through the blood na, first it is synthesized and then absorbed by the fatty substances and then it is taken into the blood. That is why it is fat soluble. Water soluble na adu வந்து water la irundhu it is absorbed. So it is as fat soluble and water soluble vitamins. சரியா? So in the table 21.2 னு இருக்குல, as vitamin A, D, E and K. As vitamin A, otherwise called retinol, அந்த நேம் வந்து உனக்கு தெரிஞ்சிருக்கணும். Vitamin A, retinol, D, calciferol, E, tocopherol and K, it is a derivative of phenol. So other name of this vitamin, what are all? Retinol, calciferol, tocopherol and derivatives of phenol. And உனக்கு தெரிஞ்சிருக்கணும். Right? And then the sources வந்து நம்ம எல்லாம் படிச்சோங்க. சில fruits எல்லாம் நான் உனக்கு காமிச்சிருக்கேன். As carrot, papaya, leafy vegetable, fish, liver oil, egg yolk, liver and dairy products. Dairy product na milk products. எதெல்லாம்? Milk, butter, cheese, cream, buttermilk, paneer, there are dairy products. Then vitamin D வந்து it is also called sunshine vitamin. If you just stand in the sun for half an hour, vitamin D can be synthesized by our body. The skin can absorb the sun ray and that synthesizes vitamin D. So it is also known as sunshine vitamin. Then the deficiency disorders as vitamin A வந்து normally it causes color blindness and night blindness. Color blindness na a person is unable to distinguish red, green and blue color. That is color blindness. Night blindness na it is also called nyctalopia. Person is unable to see in a dim light. That is night blindness. So vitamin A deficiency has color blindness and night blindness. So I got a person mainly to take papaya, carrot, leafy vegetable, fish and liver oil. Then symptoms, dryness of cornea. Kanna வந்து அப்படியே அடிக்கடி dry ஆயிடும், irritation. That is dryness of cornea, then unable to see in the dim light. இது வந்து vitamin A deficiency. Whereas vitamin D, normally it affects the children. கையில வந்து பாலம் பாலமா இருக்கும், சில scratches நிறைய இருக்கும். That is due to rickets. And particularly important 2 marks. Rickets, symptoms of rickets. Then first children will be suffering from bow leg, defective rib, development of pigeon chest. Bow leg na kai kaal apdi irukum. Bow leg, defective rib, development of pigeon chest. I hope you understand. Then vitamin E and sterility. If any reproductive disorder na, there may be defective in vitamin E. That is fertility children. Okay. Then vitamin K, it is mainly meant for clotting of blood. Blood clotting is controlled by vitamin K. Okay. The next one is water soluble vitamin as vitamin B1, also called thiamine. The names வந்து உனக்கு கண்டிப்பா தெரிஞ்சிருக்கணும். Vitamin B1 thiamine, B2 riboflavin, B3 niacin, B6 pyridoxine and B12 cyanocobalamin. I repeat, B1 thiamine, B2 riboflavin, B3 niacin, B6 pyridoxine and B12 cyanocobalamin. சரியா? And the diseases வந்து B1 na beriberi, B2 வந்து it is called A riboflavinosis, and then B3 pellagra, B6 dermatitis, B12 pernicious anemia. இந்த நிமிஷம் உனக்கு தெரிஞ்சிருக்கணும். சரியா? Then beriberi na degenerative changes in nerves, muscles, and muscles become weak and that leads to paralysis. Then riboflavin வந்து irritation in eye, dry skin, inflammation of lips and fissures in the corners of the mouth. இங்க வந்து இப்படி பாலமா இருக்கும் இல்லையா, அது பேரு fissures in the corners of the mouth. Then pellagra வந்து inflammation of the skin, loss of memory and diarrhea. B6 வந்து nervous disorder. B12 decrease in RBC production and degeneration of spinal cord. That is pernicious anemia. This is for the fat soluble vitamins. Okay. Then whereas minerals, we are learning about calcium, sodium, potassium, iron and iodine. Calcium, potassium, sodium, iron and iodine. These are the minerals. And உனக்கு main functions தெரிஞ்சிருக்கணும் and deficiency disorder தெரிஞ்சிருக்கணும். அதில் வந்து முதல்ல பார்த்தோங்க மேக்ரோ மினரல்ஸ் அண்ட் மைக்ரோ மினரல்ஸ். மேக்ரோ வந்து கால்சியம், சோடியம் அண்ட் பொட்டாசியம். whereas மைக்ரோ வந்து அயன் அண்ட் அயோடின். Calcium causes bone deformities, poor skeletal growth, osteoporosis in adult. I repeat, bone deformities, poor skeletal growth, osteoporosis in adult. சரியா? Then sodium வந்து muscular cramp, nerve impulses do not get transmitted. Then potassium வந்து muscular fatigue, nerve impulses do not get transmitted. அப்போ கண்டிப்பா சோடியமும் பொட்டாசியமும் ஒரு மனுஷனுக்கு தேவை. சோடியம் நார்மலாக எல்லா ஃப்ரூட்ஸ்லேயும் வெரி மைன்யூட்டாகவும், காமன் சால்ட் தான் நிறைய. சரியா? அண்ட் தென் அயன் வந்து ஸ்பினாச்னா இந்த புதினா கீரை, டேட், broccoli and all, whole cereal and nuts. Date na perishable. And due to deficiency of iron, it causes the condition called anemia. Anemia is a person suffering from lack of RBC. Lack of RBC. And iron is a micro mineral. Then iodine, it is present in seafood. All iodized salt சொல்லுங்க. seafoodல வந்து salt வந்து sea வந்து salt water, marine water வந்து salt. ஸோ அதில் வந்து நிறைய சோடியம் கண்டென்ட்டும் அயன் கண்டென்ட்டும் இருக்கும். ஸோ மில்க்கு, seafood and iodized salt, and that results in formation of thyroid hormone. சரியா? I'll show you the fruits which are rich in minerals and vitamins. This is a fruit. This is banana fruit, 6 standard. Banana fruit mainly for potassium, as nerve impulses are controlled. Mineral, macro mineral, banana. Right? Then this is pineapple. This fruit, it is also rich in minerals and vitamins. இது வந்து pineapple. நல்ல மணக்கிறது. This is pineapple. உன்னை fruit பார்த்துப்பை இருந்தாலும் காட்டுறேன். This is pineapple. Okay. And then these are all. This is apple we know. This one pomegranate. This is மாதுளம் பழம்னு சொல்லுவோம்ல. இதெல்லாம் rich in iron content. இது வந்து multi vitamins. These fruits are responsible important for presence of many minerals and vitamins. Okay, so for all these to take, a person should take a balanced diet. Balanced diet na required quantity of proportionate quantity of carbohydrate, fat, vitamin, proteins and vitamin, protein, fat, vitamins and minerals are required. I hope you understand. So now video 3 is followed by textbook figures and experiments and activity table you need to fill up. That we will follow in the next video class, video number 4. We'll continue next. Thank you.